Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy CowboyJobu with a special Wednesday night edition of the Jobu Sports Report because it's finally happened. Tomorrow, Tony Romo will be released at the beginning of the NFL league year. Wow. We had a lot of great memories. We had a lot of incredible games. We had some disappointing ones. Wow. It's hard to believe that the Tony Romo era is now over. I'm almost speechless because I've been looking for this. I've been talking about it. I knew it was going to happen. But it's kind of like losing a friend that you know is going to go. A lot of people think that I hate Tony Romo, and nothing could be further from the truth. I've met Tony Romo on a couple of occasions. I have been a Tony Romo supporter. I've been a Tony Romo fan. I have been a Tony Romo defender. But one thing that the NFL is about, besides Jobu needing a refill. Let's go ahead and do that. And I think we're going to need to open up a new bottle for Jobu. And I tell you what, we're going to pour one for our homie, Tony Romo. And in fact, I want to give mad respect to Tony Romo, and I want to appreciate him as well as his supporters. So we're going to, not that one. Yes, I'm old school. I don't have a lighter. I'm going to light a candle for Tony Romo and hope it doesn't hit the rum. See? See if I can burn the place down.
Games become more precious. Chances for success diminish.
Wow.
Coach Jason's pathetic. They still have to coach. You're not there.
One for me too.
You see, football is meritocracy. You aren't handed anything. You earn everything. A great example of this is Dan Preston. He's earned the right to be our quarterback.
You, Tony Romo.
Dak knows that I have his back. Even I know that he hasn't. If you think for a second that I don't want to be out there, then you probably never felt the pure ecstasy of competing and winning. Yeah! Nice job! I feel like we all have two battles, or two enemies going on. One with the man across from him. The second is with the man inside of him. I think once you control the one inside of you, the one across from you really doesn't matter.
Class act is Tony Romo when he is.
Wow. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank everybody for following along and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. I'm trying to become the place that we as Cowboy fans can come through and have real discussions. And one thing that I love, I don't want people to be yes people. I don't want people to be, oh, you're a Jobu fan, so you're always going to agree with everything that I say. And I don't want that. And we shouldn't have that, because we should, as fans, challenge what goes on. Because when you look at something from a different opinion or a different point of view, you may come out with a different conclusion that may be better. There's Shallow Hal here, who is a diehard Tony Romo fan and who probably is upset that Tony Romo is going to be gone. But I respect his opinion. I may not agree with his argument. I come up with a different conclusion. But I enjoy the fact that we can actually discuss our differences. And in the end, all of us should be Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, what you have to realize is football is a young man's game. The average career in the NFL lasts 3.3 years. It's not very long. The fact that Tony Romo has been in the NFL for 14 years is not the norm. But what happens is the longer you play, the harder it is on your body and the harder it is for you to recover. You know, they say you're healthy, but once you really hurt something, it never is the same. And when you look at 3 collarbones being broken, when you look at 3 bones in his back, when you look at the wrist, you look at punctured lung, these things just add up and it just makes it harder and harder and harder. And what you have to understand is football isn't about one guy. The NFL is genius in marketing the teams because they know it's a battle of attrition. You're going to lose 25% of your roster every year to injuries. So if you bank on it being just one guy, then it's a losing proposition. And that's where we have to understand as fans that Don Meredith got old. Roger Staubach got old. Troy Aikman got old. And Tony Romo got old. And even in your job, or at least in my job and stuff, as we work up through the ladder, what happens to us older people as we work up the ladder is we start making more money, and we may not be as knowledgeable as somebody who is just out of college, who is younger, has more energy, and works cheaper. They get rid of that old guy at the top. And it's hard for that old guy to find a job when somebody's willing to work for a third of what you are and is hungry. And that's the situation we are right now. I have no animosity to Tony Romo. I don't blame him for anything. I am thankful we had him. I look at Quincy Carter's and, you know, we brought Ryan Leaf in here. You know, we could go on and on and on where we almost were as bad as the Redskins when it came to quarterbacks. Tony Romo was exciting. Tony Romo left everything, and I mean everything on the field. So be happy that this whole drama is coming to an end. Wish him well, but think about what he gave us. And I'm going to leave it right there on that. And I'm going to go ahead and say hello to all of you guys that are in here. Nick Johnson, how you doing? I know I saw Sarah up in here. Thank God she's back. Nick. I wish I had Billy's girl. Okay. Orion, JVP, Michael, Pablo, Madden, Sandman, Devontae, Seb, Phoenix, Jacob. Boy, this thing's rolling through. We got a lot of people in here tonight. Nick C, John Lopez. People, how are y'all doing tonight? And I want to know how you guys feel about the whole situation. Are you happy about it? Are you sad about it? Are you glad that it's over? I am still, actually, I think I'm actually a little bit in shock because I knew it was going to happen, even though we had a lot of people in here who said, nope, Tony Romo's staying. He's competing for the quarterback spot. And I'm like, no, he's not. Now, here's the thing. Some people are really mad because they say, you know, we should have been trading something for him. We should have got a second-round pick. We should have gotten J.J. Watt. Well, guys, sorry. Everybody knew that the Cowboys had to cut Tony Romo. There was no way in the world a team in cap hell could pay $24 million on the cap for a guy to be a backup. And what most people don't say or they don't know is it's not just the $24 million. If you kept him this year, you deal with the same situation next year. So it's not just $24 million. It's a whole lot more than that we're talking about. So when you're talking about $40 to $50 million for a guy that you know is only going to be around for 2, maybe 3 years, and you're not sure how long he's going to stay healthy, you got to look at the team. Right now, Church is gone. Church's got a lot more money than what I thought he was going to get. Church is going to Jacksonville getting $6 million. So right now we're facing the prospect of J.J. Wilcox. I think he'll get more. We won't be able to re-sign him. So now you got J.J. Wilcox and Church both gone. I think Morris Claiborne is probably gone. I'm not sure we'll re-sign Brandon Carr, but that may be a necessity. We know Ron Leary is going to be in that $8 to $10 million range. He's gone. And with us re-signing Brice Butler, Terrence Williams is going to be gone. So we have a lot of guys that we have to replace. In fact, let me look at the list. Bringing in Josh McCown, that'll at least take care of the Kelvin Moore and Marcus Sanchez situation, so at least we got something squared away. We have Lance Dunbar, Dan McFadden. We're trying to trade Alfred Morris, but doesn't look like that's going to happen, so we'll probably just release him and get that $1.5 million cap back. We re-signed Brice Butler for $600,000 for 1 year. Gavin Escobar, do you want to bring him back, or do you think you can upgrade that? Jonathan Cooper, Ron Leary, like I said, we know he's going to be gone because he's going to get a boatload of money. Richard Ash, Jack Crawford, Ryan Davis, Terrell McCain, he's getting a lot of interest out there, so he's probably going to be gone. Justin Durant, hopefully Jalen Smith will be the real deal and be able to take that spot. Rolando McClain, which we've already replaced because, he's just out there. Brandon Carr, Barry Church, Morris Claiborne, and J.J. Wilcox. So for those of you that keep saying, keep Tony Romo, well, here's what we're doing. It's a June 1st cut, which means we get the $19 million hit, but we spread it out over 2 seasons. So we end up having a $10.9 million hit for this year on the cap, and we'll end up having a $9 million cap hit next year. But we can't use that money until after June 1st. So it's good and it's bad. We're going to get the biggest bang for the buck by doing it that way. It lets Tony Romo do what he wants to do and go somewhere else because, like I said, teams knew you weren't going to keep Tony Romo. So it was just a matter of waiting it out and not having to give up anything. But that $14 million that we'll have come June 1st will be good because we're going to need to sign Zach Martin to a long-term deal. So we've got some extra cash there. If we make Tyrone Crawford another one of those June 1st cuts, that's another $10 million we save on the cap. So all of a sudden we have money for next year, and we have money for signing our guys. The bad thing, of course, is we only have $8.5 million right now. What I think will happen if the Cowboys somehow see somebody that they really want, they have some other contracts that they can maneuver and work with to get some cash. And I could see them looking at it saying, okay, the offense is pretty good right now. We need a couple little pieces. It would be nice if we could get a stud wide receiver, start looking at another tight end, maybe an offensive lineman. But other than that, we've got most of the parts there. And even if you don't get upgrades in those, your offense is still going to be damn good. The problem is now the defense. You're looking at possibly 4 cornerbacks that you need. And you still need to address the pass rush. And as much as everybody wants to say, oh, man, just go through, man, just draft a guy. Well, we've been drafting guys. We've had, DeMarcus Lawrence. We've had Topper. We've had Randy Gregory. For whatever reasons, we can't seem to get them on the field to do anything. And what you have to understand is pass rushers don't come out of the box being a 10, 12 sack guy very often. It usually takes them a couple of years. With that being said, when you look at our failure this year and in 2014, the one thing that is key in both of those games against Aaron Rodgers was we couldn't put pressure on Aaron Rodgers to stop him. Aaron Rodgers had all day to throw. Our defense, 21-3, just like that. Couldn't stop him on 3rd down. Had 3rd and long situations because Aaron Rodgers got 6, 7, 8 seconds to throw. He's not worried about the Dallas Cowboys pass rush. His chin strap wasn't even strapped half the time. So if we do not get a pass rush, we're going to be reliant completely on the offense. There's an interesting statistic. I need to look it back up to check out the last 2 years or so. But generally speaking, more times than not, your Super Bowl winning teams have 40 or more sacks on the season. This year was better. We had 34. The last couple of years before, we didn't even get close to 30. Didn't even sniff 30. We've got to address that pass rush. Now, I'm putting this out here, and sooner or later, in the next day or 2 or 3, I'm sure it's all going to be over with. I'm still pounding Calais Campbell. If we could just get that guy, go to the draft with the draft wide open. Imagine it. Imagine, let's say, next month, we've signed Calais Campbell. We get maybe another good free agent, maybe an upgrade for wide receiver, somebody who's on the level of, say, Terrence Williams, or maybe we end up getting a tackle in free agency. And we go to the draft next month, have a Calais on that defensive line, and all of a sudden, Ross, for whatever reason, happens to be there. I mean, at the moment, you have to say, we got to get a pass rusher. So you're locked into getting that pass rusher. You get a guy like Campbell, maybe Ross is there, and you take him and say, okay, boom. All of a sudden, we've got a fast guy to go on that offense. Maybe it's a cornerback that falls that you have graded out in the top 5 or something. And now all of a sudden, you got a good cornerback. You've got a defensive lineman that's going to wreak havoc. All of a sudden, you've majorly improved that defense. So it gives you options. And I've said that before. And, a lot of people say, Mark, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know jack about football. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I dare say, when everybody said Tony Romo was going to become the starter again, I said, Dak's got this. He's not getting his job back. When I said that Tony Romo was going to be gone, even as of yesterday, some of these people are telling me how stupid I am. It's going to be an open competition. I even dare say that some people said that the Cowboys would trade Dak Prescott. But somehow, I was kind of right about that one. So feel free to believe in what I say or not to. I mean, that's up to you. I'm just putting out there my thoughts to share with you guys. And thank you, Google Franklin. I am an idiot. And I don't know shit about football. Appreciate that. But it's great to talk about it. And the interesting thing about football is you never know what's going to freaking happen. A team can go from worst to first to worst again. You look at the Carolina Panthers winning this, going to the Super Bowl last year, going in the toilet. It happens. Players that you think aren't worth jack all of a sudden become the it player. And that's the greatest thing. I'm going to tell, okay, back to Calais. I see a lot of comments on Calais. Here is my thought process, and maybe I'm crazy, but this is me connecting the dots. Okay, supposedly the #1 destination for Calais would be the Denver Broncos, okay? They're putting the band together, getting the old guys, the over-the-hill gang, to make the run. But if they're going to make a move for Tony Romo and get Tony Romo, they're already now talking about re-signing DeMarcus Ware, as well as Sylvester Williams, their defensive tackle, which will be another about $7 million a year guy. All of a sudden, they're not going to have the cash to bring him in as well. So I think that reduces the chances of that happening. Now, supposedly, the kind of money I think he's going to come in, he just came off of a 5-year, $55 million contract. So I think $10, $11 million is what it'll take to get Calais. The Washington Redskins have been known to say that they want to get him. But I got to tell you, friends don't let friends go to the Washington Redskins. They are a dumpster fire. Here it is, the Washington Redskins have done something that nobody else has ever done before, and that's used a franchise tag on the same player twice. They could have locked him in to a long-term contract for about $40 million guaranteed 2 years ago. Yet, they franchise tagged him last year. They franchise tagged him this year where he's going to get $26 million. And more than likely, come next year, they'll have to put a transition tag on him, hope that they can get a draft pick. But Kirk Cousins wants out. How do you finally get a quarterback who can play and you screw it up? And you look at the long list of players that have gone to Washington, and they've gotten paid rather well. But the Washington Redskins are the dumpster fire that you go to end your career and get your retirement fund. If you're looking at trying to get a ring, you're not going to the Washington Redskins. Fact. You want to get paid, you go to the Redskins. All right. Jacksonville Jaguars. You're hearing that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to make a play for Calais Campbell. Yeah, well, Calais is 30 years old. He's been paid. He's getting $55 million over the last 5 years. So right now, I'm not sure that it's about money. He's got more money than he can ever spend, his kids could ever spend, and probably their kids could ever spend. So when you look at going to the Jaguars, one of the cellar dwellers in the NFL, is that where you want to go to end your career, get your last big check? I don't think so. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, and you look at how Calais Campbell, nobody knew him 6, 7 years ago. But his stock has started to rise, where you see him on NFL Network. You see him around all over the place. Imagine signing with the Dallas Cowboys, how that'll grow. Because this is not just a regular type of guy. This is a guy who is all around good. He uses his power for good, on and off the field. He's a team leader. He's charitable. You don't have to worry about him being in some nightclub and some kind of an incident. You don't have to worry about him smoking weed. And you don't have to worry about him being injured. He's missed 6 games in his whole career. So that's why I have been high on this guy. When somebody talks about Sheldon Richardson, I look at the numbers and it's a couple of sacks a year, and it's baggage. If JPP had been a free agent, but he was franchise tag, you were looking at about $75 million contract for a guy that's missing half a hand. And I'm not trying to be cold on that. I'm just saying. That's why I look at that guy, because that guy to me is the difference maker on the team. That guy will command double teams. That guy gets to the quarterback, forces fumbles. He's the all-around missing piece. To me, it would be like Reggie White going from Philadelphia to the Green Bay Packers. And you guys can say I'm crazy, and that's fine. But I still go back. A lot of my knowledge and a lot of things I tell you guys is because of things that I've seen. I'm old. I'm the same age as the Super Bowl. So I have seen a lot of football. I've played a lot of football. So I can relate to Charles Haley coming from San Francisco and being the force that ended up bringing that defense together to become a #1 defense. I can look back at Reggie White going to the Green Bay Packers and ended up being the force that pulled that defense together to get them back to being known as Title Town. And that's where I look at that. I look at the failures of our team against the Green Bay Packers, where we can't get a pass rush. I look at us when Tony Romo threw for over 500 yards against the Denver Broncos, where if we could have just got a sack or 2, we could have won that game. But it's the main thing, the problem that we have had year after year after year, because we focused always on the offense. And we got that together now. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up was some people are panicking right now about the New York Giants signing Brandon Marshall. You know, they're like, oh my God, you got Brandon Marshall, they've got Odell Beckham, they got Shepard. Oh my God, man, the Giants, man, they're going to be unstoppable, man, with all those receivers. I got to tell you, I'm happy that they signed Brandon Marshall. The reason why I'm happy they signed Brandon Marshall is that they didn't sign any offensive linemen. Because you could have great receivers, but if Eli is getting his ass kicked all day long, it's not going to matter who's running routes. And if they don't get a running back, because right now they don't have one, and a running game, they're one-dimensional. You can pin your ears back and go for Eli, that turnover machine. And as much as people want to think that Eli Manning is an elite quarterback, I don't think he is. And the last few years where he's been turning the ball over more than anybody, I'm not scared of that. I'm more scared of that defense of theirs, of being able to run against those guys. That offense isn't what's scaring me. When they end up getting some real offensive linemen, then I'll start to worry. But I'm not ready to panic about the New York Giants. Let's see what some of your comments here. Jags just got Calais? Oh, you're kidding me. Hold on. I got to check that one out. Because I think you're wrong on that one. Because I would have got a news alert on it. The Jags want him, but I don't think he's going to. No, buddy. Nah, I don't think he's going to go there. Demetrius Poe, I'm sorry, we got a lot of guys that are kind of in the level and the range of Demetrius Poe. He's going to ask a whole lot of money, but he's still only like a 3-sack guy a year. Who replaces Church? Good question. We may end up having to draft somebody or sign another free agent. So it may end up being our other guy. God, I can't think of his name right now. Heath may end up becoming a starter for at safety. And let me just check something here real quick. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the Jags have eyes for Calais Campbell. But again, I'm giving you my argument why I don't think he'll go there. And I could dare say that if the Cowboys made an offer, a decent offer, that they could work something out. And I'll just put it that way. And I'm putting it out there to the universe that I want that guy. Now, the thing that I find interesting is, and as I always tell you, that football is like poker. It's like a card game. You never want anybody to know what you're doing. And a lot of times you'll do things to kind of make a diversion. And the whole Tony Romo, 49ers, Redskins, Cowboys trade, that was just basically fake news, and that was a big diversion. And when you look at well, you guys are telling me, but I missed that one. I have not seen anything come across the wire on Calais Campbell. If he signs with them, I would be surprised. Okay, well, we'll see if that comes across. But I have not seen anything about Calais Campbell. And if it is, I wish him the best of luck with them. But that's not where I would go if it were me. But then again, I'm not an NFL player, so I have no choice in the matter. I can only give my opinion and my advice. Sorry, guys, I still don't see any. If you guys see it someplace, oh, I see it right there. You guys are right. Well, Calais, if you go to the Jags, best of luck to you, buddy. And I hope you have a fantastic season with them. And I wish that you were going to be going to my Cowboys. So anyway, the good news is, if that's true, you don't have to worry about me talking about Calais Campbell coming in here. But we're going to need to make a move for that defensive line. I still say we got to get a pass rusher. We've got to get the war daddy that Jerry Jones has been talking about. If we do not get a pass rusher, we will truly, oh, God, no, not Greg. Joe, come on, man. Greg Hardy, please, man. The Canadian Football League doesn't even want it. It's showing up more feeds now. Yeah. Oh, well. Calais, here's to you, buddy. It would have been nice to see you wearing a star. Now, you won't see me punch a hole in the wall. There will be, here's the thing. We may have to go to a plan B type of a deal. And it may be that we basically are going to need to rent some guys towards the end of this, as we get further along in the year. Because what you're going to see is you're going to see a whole lot of guys that still have something left in the tank. They're going to be a short-term type of a deal. A guy that you're not going to have for 4 or 5 years. Come June, we'll end up having extra cash from the Tony Romo deal. So we may have to look at signing somebody like a Julius Peppers or something like that, basically to help get us a little burst. So hats off. Well, there is Sheldon Richardson, but I'm still not sold on him. One way or the other, we're going to have to do something. So I put all my eggs in one basket, and that was Calais Campbell, because I think he's a hell of a player, and I think he could have really been the one for our team. So I'm sad. Now I've lost Calais, and I've lost Tony Romo. But at least I still have Jobu in his room. No, don't worry, guys. I will be fine, okay? Because I'm blessed. And I've been disappointed many, many, many times in my life. And as much as I love the Dallas Cowboys, it's not going to kill me. I can hope. No, I don't want to sign Ware. No, Ware's too old. I can hope that the Dallas Cowboys get it together, and go to the Super Bowl. If last year didn't kill me, then nothing will. I was so happy about this season. When Tony Romo got hurt, as much as I had thought highly of Dak Prescott, and I said the team would be okay, you really did not know how much he was going to be able to give you. Nobody expected Dak to be as good as he was. Nobody. For that team to come together and play like they did with a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback, we were truly blessed. Yes, we were disappointed. We should have won against Green Bay again. But all of those people out there who don't think that Dak is a good quarterback and keep saying that he's just a dink and dunker, I think it's something else underlining there, because there's no way in the world, when you look at his numbers versus somebody like, say, Carson Wentz, who averaged, I think, 6 yards, 5-point-something yards per completion versus 7.9, that you can say that he's a dink and dunk quarterback when his numbers were 4th in the league, I believe. To know that right now, imagine if Dak Prescott had been a bum. And we were going into this draft knowing that Tony Romo's end is near, having been hurt in the other year. And this year would have probably been another terrible year had Dak not been good. Imagine if we had to be looking at a quarterback right now with the guys that are out there. And when you're looking at what teams are giving up to move up, look what the Rams gave up for Jared Goff. Look what the Eagles gave up to get Carson Wentz. Guess what? We don't have to do that. We got a guy that should be there. Now, anything can happen. 10+ years. Who seems to have it as a rookie. Now, he may regress a little bit, but I don't think so. Because you look at the body of work that we have with him, everywhere he has gone, from high school, college, and now the pros, he gets better all the time. And once he gets that job, it ain't going to nobody else. So you have to feel good about that situation. You look at Des Bryant finally getting together the second half of the season and connecting with him. I look for them to take that to another level because last year, think about it. Dak was a rookie third-string quarterback. He was behind Moore. So in the OTAs, he wasn't working with the number ones. He was probably running scout team most of the time. He was fortunate that Moore got hurt when he did, so that way he got some first-team reps on Wednesdays when Tony Romo wasn't able to practice because Tony Romo was always hurt. He was fortunate that he got those first-team reps and he got to play in those preseason games because he got lots of valuable experience with the team. Had it been later on when Tony Romo got hurt or more, then he would have been just working with just the third string, and all of a sudden you're thrown to the wolves without having any work with him. But that being said, Dez was hurt early in the season and missed all the time. So they didn't actually have a lot of time to work together. That's changing. For once, we're not waiting for our quarterback to rehab from a broken shoulder or a bad back having surgery. We got a guy right now who's in Florida working out, who will be working with his receivers and stuff, going through all the OTAs, weight training, and taking and honing that craft. He's going to be better next year. Now, the problem for our Cowboys is we were successful this year, which means we got a hell of a schedule next year. We got a lot of great quarterbacks and teams we're going to be facing, not only in our division where you look at the Eagles will be better. The Redskins, they're still a dumpster fire. The Giants have a great defense, and now they got Brandon Marshall too. So it's not going to be easy in our own division. But then when you start putting Atlanta and Green Bay and Seattle and Denver, the Chargers, the Raiders, and Kansas City and Arizona on the list, all of a sudden, every week is going to be a rough week. You're playing the cream of the crop. So it's going to be hard to go 13-3 like we did this year. It may be 10-6, but you will be battle tested by the end of the season. So we have that going for us. So I'm looking for that offense to go. But we've really got to get this defense together. And I've been ignoring you guys, and I apologize for it. I'm kind of in a state of shock now. First I had Tony Romo gone and actually coming to grips with that, and now the fact that we won't get Calais kind of really just kind of put a damper on things. How do I think DeMarcus Ware will play next year? Well, DeMarcus Ware, Kenny, has been on a downslide for quite a while. He's just coming off of disc surgery, and once your back starts going bad, it's never the same. And you got to understand that his game is speed, and you're going to end up irritating that. I don't care how well they say it heals. He'll probably be about a 4 to 6 sack guy maybe next year, but I still look at him probably missing 6-8 games on the season. Nick C, as far as finishing the fight, we need to coach better too to help them finish the fight, because they need the support from the guys with the headsets on to help them be in positions to win. So it's not just the players on the field. The coaches have to do better. We can't afford Claiborne. Yeah, well, Claiborne, I'm sorry. I am done with the glass man. That was one of those moves where we traded a second and a first round to move up, something I've never been for because you risk too much. He's just never, ever been able to stay healthy. And he always gets these freak accidents and things. I mean, who tears a bone in the groin? A bone. When you do some stuff like that, sorry, you're just injury prone. He's another guy that he played great for 7 games, but then he missed 9. You can't count on him. Your best ability is your availability. So I'm ready to move on from Claiborne. Give me a guy that can play out there for 16 games. Matt, you are in the same category with my son as far as Rico Gathers go. And, in fact, my son's like, I want to get a Rico Gathers jersey. And he's thinking that he's going to end up being the real deal. And I hope that he's like the next Antonio Gates. Jason, I agree. The problem with relying on the draft is we've got basically 18 guys we've got to replace on the roster, and we have 7 picks. You can't get everybody we need, and chances are, when you got 2 7th-round picks, that they're not going to be starters on your team. What you hope for in the draft is that you get an impact player. You get 2 starters. You get a special teams person, and you get a couple of backups. If you can do that in every draft, your team will be a winner. But you can't really expect us to have drafts like we had last year where we get a franchise quarterback, an elite running back. You get a starting cornerback. You end up getting Collins, a pass rusher, and a Jalen Smith possibly. You don't have drafts like that. That's one of those once-in-a-lifetime type of drafts. So if we think that we're going to be able to fill all the holes in with that, it's not going to happen. But what we are going to have to do is we're going to have to be signing guys late, going into June and July after that June 1st cut. That's when we're actually going to have some cash to spend because of Tony Romo and things. Now, we may end up doing some bloodletting. We may end up doing some reworking some contracts like Jason Witten is one that we could sign him for a 2 or 3 year contract and have voidable years in it where we could get some money there. But at the moment, I don't think that they're going to do it. And I'm not sure there's a lot of guys out there that you want to bust the bank now that Calais is possibly gone. So we'll see what the Dallas Cowboys do from that end. What they'll probably do right now is they'll start working on signing some of their own guys now. Some of the guys that we know, okay, they know the system. Let's keep them in-house because that guy that we know is going to be a big upgrade is gone. But we'll have to wait and see. So tomorrow will be another big, big day. Or I'm not sure our defense is in trouble. It just depends on how we do with the draft. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get a guy right out of the box that does really well. If Jalen Smith is good, you got Sean Lee, who played lights out all season. If Jalen Smith is anything and you pair them together, that right there is an improvement. What we can hope for is that DeMarcus Lawrence's back surgery, God, he's too young to be having back surgery, ends up doing well and he can get back to where he was 2 seasons ago. That would be a plus. We can hope that Tapper ends up being, a decent rusher, that Collins takes another step. I'm not sure we keep Tyrone Crawford. I think he might end up being a June 1st designation cut because of the $10 million right there, which is some money that we can look at spending elsewhere. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens on those situations. So, yeah, we don't have the premier big-name studs, the war daddy. But, yeah, we do have David Irvin back. They did re-sign him. So there's some pieces. What I was looking for was the big piece to lock it all together. And maybe we get lucky in the draft. Maybe somebody that's like an Aaron Donald-like person you end up picking up later on that nobody expected to be that good. So when you hear guys like Mike Mayock saying that this is the can't-miss guy and he's the best one in the draft, don't fall for that stuff because, generally speaking, they're never right more than about 30% of the time. So take to heart, you never know what's going to happen. Because when Tony Romo went out, who here thought the Cowboys would go 13-3? Honestly. I don't like the whole Martinelli's orphans. That's just stupid. I'm sorry, orphans. No, I'm telling you, black sheep, because they never get any respect, is much better. And, black sheep, war daddy, kind of goes together, don't you think? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm still kind of salty about that Green Bay day. You guys are going here too quickly. If I keep having this many people in the live streams, I've definitely got to get somebody here to help out because I can't keep up with the comments. Jackie, Anthony Brown, and Byron Jones. Yeah, here's the thing. We still have some decent parts, and like I said, we need to tie together. Anthony Brown is going to do better next year because he's no longer a rookie. He's got a year under his belt. You got Byron Jones, and Byron Jones, has played really well. I think he's underrated. And hopefully Skandrick can get over that suspension and the injury that he had from the year before and get back to, closer to where he was before. So it's a good core. It's just you just need a couple of studs on the defense to really get it off to another level. And that's my hope, is that we can finally get that whole thing to another level. Did I ever live? If you're asking me, I've never lived near Austin. I've been to Austin. Sarah, I can't wait for the draft either. That's going to be really, really cool. And something is going to be happening. It's going to be really, really cool. Hopefully, I'll be able to announce it on Monday. It's going to be a great opportunity for you guys to give back and possibly do something really, really big. So when everything gets together, I can't wait to share that with you guys. And I'm expecting you guys to participate, because one of you or two of you could possibly become winners, and it would be fantastic. But we'll talk about that hopefully by Monday when it kicks off. I'm still getting information on it, so it'll be kind of cool. Matt, I'm hoping you're right that Rico Gathers could be a monster, because, you know, we've been trying to get that tight end to replace Jason Witten forever, and we just have not had any luck at getting that guy. If Rico Gathers can come along and be the heir apparent to Jason Witten, that would be fantastic. Yeah, the draft is in Philadelphia, and I got to tell you, that's going to be interesting going back to Philly, because I will be wearing my Cowboys gear. And all you people out there who say that I'm not a real Cowboys fan and yada, 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 I tell you what, everywhere I go, I've got my Cowboys gear on. I live here in the Washington, D.C. area. I've got a Dallas Cowboy flag that's hanging out in front of my house. I've been to Philadelphia Eagles training camp. Jobu was wearing his jersey. We walked right smack dab down to the bottom of the link where they're practicing, with all these 30,000 Eagle fans there basically saying, "Fuck you, Jobu," and reaping my Dallas Cowboys. So I will be up in Philadelphia at the draft covering for you guys, and I will be wearing Dallas Cowboy gear, and hopefully I get out alive. Skandrick is under contract, Williams, so there's no question of us keeping him. And with us losing the players that we're going to lose Ron Leary, we're going to lose Terrence Williams, we're going to lose Terrell McClain, we're losing Brandon Carr probably. We're going to lose Claiborne. We've lost Church already. Wilcox is going to go. No, we're not going to go ahead and get rid of Skandrick on top of that. We have too many cornerbacks to worry about. Oh, don't worry, Mr. Chips. Believe it or not, I have been across the country. I mean, I've been in Harlem walking the streets at 1 o'clock coming from the subway station carrying Jobu. I think when people see you carrying a voodoo doll, they either think you're crazy or somebody not to fuck with. Because either way, they're not going to mess with you. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Detroit. I've been in some of the bad neighborhoods in New Orleans doing community projects. And me and Jobu have always gotten out alive, even out of Philadelphia. Okay, Sam, man, truth be told on that, what actually happened, and I did that whole video about Stephen A. Smith attacked Jobu. He didn't actually attack Jobu. What actually happened is, after they did the whole opening, Stephen A. Smith came to the crowd and he's fist pumping everybody through it. And what happened is, when he fist pumped me, Jobu's hand got caught in Stephen A. Smith's jacket. And when it did, Jobu kind of got flung down. So it looks like Stephen A. Smith has got his fist, and it looks like he's hitting Jobu. And Jobu goes down. So it was kind of a spoof to kind of let you know that everything you see isn't always what you see. So Stephen A. Smith, as much as he acts like an asshole on TV, it is basically an act, because he knows that whether you hate the Dallas Cowboys or you like the Dallas Cowboys, he's winning, because you're tuning in because you're enjoying what he's saying about the Cowboys, or you're pissed off that he's talking about the Cowboys. So controversy sells. And that's what they do. It's fake drama. And that's the model of Skip Bayless's show. It's the same thing. You got two guys, you're up here. It's just like a reality show. It's not really sports. So understand what you get when you watch those shows. And that's part of the reason why I like it. What's up, Marcus? How about them Cowboys? Yep, some people sure want a title and they can't Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. What I'm trying to do with this whole channel is, I think I have a lot of knowledge as far as football. I think I've seen a lot. I enjoy studying the game. I love the history of the game, and so on. I like to try to pass it on to you guys, but I also like to have fun. And I think the whole Jobu concept and getting people involved, I think is fun. So you get your news, you get a teaching moment, and you end up getting a little bit of funny as well. So it's kind of entertaining all the way around. And for me, it's actually therapeutical. It actually helps me get through the day because, in the morning I'm going to work, and it's dark and everything else, or I'm going through the day, and it's just a way to just kind of get off what's on my chest, and then I find a little news about what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. I want to share it with my friends. And that's the way I view all of you guys on here. You guys are my friends or my sounding board, my Jobus, Jobunites, Joe something. We got to come up with a term for you guys. But it's a great way to kind of share and interact. And that's what I just love about the internet. The fact that I can reach out and talk to somebody who's in China or Vietnam or England or California or Texas, that we can all interact and do stuff here together just like that. Yeah, I know. Calais is going to the Jags, but everybody who's thinking that I'm going to throw something or have a hissy, I'm not going to have a hissy. Well, thank you, Sarah. I missed you on the last couple of live streams. You haven't quite made it up in here, but I'm glad you're here tonight. Hadn't planned on doing one, but since this is the last 24 hours, no, I'm not from Manassas. Not far from Manassas, but no, I'm not from Manassas. Now I lost what I was talking about. Dumbs comment of the day. Oh man, to be honest with you, I've been so busy trying to keep up with all the stuff that's going on. I haven't had a chance to really read through all the comments because there literally have been thousands of comments today. So, please throw something. Okay, where is? Let me make somebody happy. Jobu, where's your foam finger? Okay, here we go. Okay. Makes you guys feel better. Damn, Calais isn't signing with us. Okay, got that out of the way. So I threw something. I feel much better now. Well, Sarah's not the only one that's joined here. We have Letitia, who's right there. Hi, Cowboys Nation. We also have actually a couple, and I'm actually very proud of the fact that we're getting more and more ladies that are joining us. I think I actually have 14% of my followers because we have like Jackie. She's another loyal follower that are kind of joining into the program and stuff. Because the great thing about this channel, I think, is I've got some guys that are 14, 15 years old that are diehard Dallas Cowboy fans, and I've got some diehard Dallas Cowboy fans that are all the way 65, 70 years old, and different races, different backgrounds, different stations in life, but we can all come together and enjoy each other talking about football. Now, the one thing I must say is great tonight is, have you noticed there's been no trolls? Monday night, we had our buddy, we won't say his name, just making profile after profile after profile. But now that reality is set in, the end is near with Tony Romo. You notice how all the controversy is just gone? You guys feel it? Or is it just me? American Muscle Guy, TJ Watt, I think would definitely be a help on the defense. Right now, a ham sandwich might be a help on the defense. Mr. Chip, Shallow Hal say something stupid. You know what? Shallow Hal has his opinions and stuff like that. But like I said, I respect the fact that he's going to stick with what he believes, and he'll discuss it. It may not be rational in my thinking or your thinking, but I can respect a person who sticks behind their beliefs and stuff. You know, there's a right way and a wrong way to disagree. And unfortunately, we get to the point now where If somebody doesn't agree with you, it's basically fuck you. Excuse my language, but that's the attitude that they have. You can't have a discussion and try and see another point of view. And there's so much stuff out there that it's great that we have all kinds of information, but not all information that you get is factual. And when you look at one thing, basically the algorithms out there, and I probably mispronounced that, forgive me, I do that a lot, basically will keyhole you into similar material. So if you can't stand Tony Romo, you're going to get more articles about bad things about Tony Romo, which is going to shade your opinion because you're going to say everything I see is about Tony Romo being a screw up. And the same thing is true about Dak Prescott. If you can see articles about Dak Prescott where he's doing bad or somebody's opinion about him doing bad, you're going to continue to see more of the same thing. So that's why sometimes people are hell bent on one argument and they're not getting the whole picture. So you have to understand that if you don't talk to somebody who has a different opinion or view, you're never going to see the whole picture and be able to make your own judgment on things. And that's what I hope we can do on this channel without saying fuck you. Excuse my language. And the only time we ever should say fuck you is I say fuck you, Jobu. I do it myself. That's the only time. Can I have my no? Here's the thing. I'm going to hold on to my Romo jersey. It's actually hanging up in the closet over there, along with my DeMarcus Ware one, and I've got some other ones and stuff. So I'm going to hold on to it. Jobu's keeping his number 4. Oh yeah, Jobu's definitely keeping his number 4 jersey. Well, probably actually I need to take that one off of him and actually put it away until next season. That jersey has been on him all season long with Dak Prescott. Should we draft Charles Harris? Let me get back to you on that. Matt, I was saying before that as far as Brandon Marshall, the Giants don't have an offensive line that's going to keep Eli Manning upright and keep him in the games. And they don't have a running game. They're going to be one-dimensional where you're going to be able to sell out and blitz the hell out of them and destroy Eli. Eli is a turnover machine. I'm more worried about their defense than their offense. Wiz Young, well, I tell you what, I have a couple of the 2016 shirts that are still left. I'm working on getting the 2017s made and getting those designed. And if the guy ever finishes doing this design, I'm actually going to be ordering shot glasses. So I'll actually have shot glasses if you guys want some. So that way you guys can pour some rum for the Jobu Sports Report. And you are right, Oren. The draft is deep with pass rushers. And, you know, maybe we get lucky. There's a guy we really want that we can trade back and turn into a couple picks and get the guy that we need. At this point, we're definitely going to have to. Maybe we'll end up having, you know, a great veteran out there that gets cut that you're not expecting. And we end up getting lucky and being able to sign him because we'll end up having more cash from the Tony Romo deal. Okay, shot glasses. So I'm getting everybody wants shot glasses. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Well, Jackie, I'm happy that you enjoy coming to the show and stuff. All right, so I'm seeing all you guys saying you want shot glasses. Now, when I have to order 200 of them, I expect y'all to get some of these shot glasses and not leave me stuck with 200 shot glasses. I mean, Jobu drinks a lot of rum, but he don't drink quite that much rum. Yeah, I know, John. Calais is going to stand. Well, plan B is we go with the guys we have. Hopefully, we can get a good draft pick. And hey, Jack, how you doing, man? Elvis Duberville, 33 years old, over the hill. I'm not sure we want to sign Elvis. Elvis has left the building. All right, I'm gonna remember this, Joey, and all the rest of you and Sarah and all that. That you say you want a Jobu shot glass because I am getting made. And Nick, I will have the shirts and stuff sometime before the summer. Okay, Sven, here's the thing. If you haven't seen the movie Major League, you have to watch the movie Major League because That's where Jobu comes from, was from that movie. And in that movie, Jobu gets rum, cigars, and chicken. So I'm trying to keep it to the original story. So on Sundays, Jobu gets buffalo wings. He's got his cigar. Well, I see his cigar's not there because we're burning a candle for Tony Romo, you know, our last night vigil for him. And of course, Jobu needs a refill. So if you haven't seen that movie, check out that movie and you'll understand the whole Jobu thing. All right, say man, I've seen about 15 or 20 people who say that they want shot glasses. So I better be getting orders from you guys. Did someone say chicken? Yes. Oh, Sven. Oh, well, Sven is welcome from Germany. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Isn't it amazing that we can sit here and talk about the Dallas Cowboys with somebody in Germany like Sven? Sven, you're going to get a shot glass in Germany. But go on the internet, check out Major League, or just look up, it's very bad to steal Jobu's rum. You'll get the clip on YouTube on that, and you'll crack up. Chicken goats taste nasty. Okay. All right, Jackie, I'm hearing you. I want the television. Okay. Yeah, Jabril won't make it to 28. I doubt it. Jeff Heath right now is who we have at the moment is going to be replacing Church. Yeah, Robert A. Man, I think he finally got tired of changing profiles, so he's not here tonight. Will E. in Haiti? Wow. I'll check him out, Jeremy. How about beer mugs? But Jobu doesn't drink beer. Billy is tired. Yeah, he is tired. I can agree with that. Oh, Lordy. Our first, we need Romo. Okay, so we got our dumb comment for the day. Yes, Jeff Heath did pick up Aaron Rodgers. Right now, John, at the moment, Jeff Heath is going to be who's replacing him at the moment. We'll see what happens in free agency and the draft. Rum mugs. Okay. Yeah, Jobu is feeling a little sad about Tony Romo. Tony is a June 1st designated cut, so yeah. And it's so funny with the NFL, all of their rules and stuff like that. The league year starts on the 9th, but yet you can start talking to the players and basically signing deals 2 days before. You know, if you make him a cut, it's a June 1st cut, but you can actually cut him in March. So it's crazy. But as always, guys, the time flies by when I'm with you guys. It's after 10 o'clock. And I have to get up at 4:45 to get to D.C. To work. And I'm not going to break anything. If Calais Campbell signs with the Jaguars, I'll take it like a man. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to Jobu Sports Report and showing me all the love that you guys do. I'm enjoying the hell out of this, and I will constantly try and bring you the best, most accurate news on the Dallas Cowboys with a little bit of fun. So I want you guys to have a great night and keep thinking about those Dallas Cowboys and keep spreading the mojo. And I will see you guys in the morning. Have a great night.